Hello everyone, my name is Mike and today I would like to talk about Swift failable decodable. A typical scenario, your app is getting an API response from a server, but this time it's unable to decode it. It could be that someone added a breaking change to the API or you simply missed something, but if you could just ignore those invalid elements and present the others, that would be great. Let's see how we can deal with it. There are many different reasons why your decodable could fail. If you have ever worked with dates, you know how challenging those can be. But if suddenly a date format will change, it will probably break the whole parsing anyway, because it will not only change in one field, but in all of them. Imagine that you have a simple list of elements in your app. Each of those elements have a different type. Your app knows how to handle the first one and the second one, but it's unable to parse the third one, as it has been just added on the server. In this case, it would be great if instead of just throwing an error, we could ignore this unknown type and render the rest of the list. Let's see how we can deal with this in code. Okay, so we have a simple JSON here. This will come from the API. There's a struct list element which represents this JSON. It has ID, name, and a type. Type is a simple enum with two cases, articles and news. Now to decode it, we can simply just do this. It's all fine, but let's now add additional type to our JSON response. As expected, it will throw an exception, and it will also stop all of the parsing, and it's not something that we will look for. Ideally, we would like to have an array with list elements that we can parse, and nil if it will fail. Let's create a struct that will wrap our element and let us skip it. It has to conform to decodable, as we want to decode it from JSON. For the element, let's use generic for a type, so it can be reusable, and also let's make it conform to decodable. And last but not least, it needs to be optional, as it may fail while decoding, and that's the whole purpose. Now let's create initializer. Because it conforms to decodable, we need to create from decodable initializer. The element will be created from a decoder. It is generic, and because it conforms to decodable, we know that it can be initialized from a decoder, so we can simply just pass this decoder. We use try with a question mark, so if parsing will fail, it will be nil. Now let's try to parse it. As you can see, there is first and second element, and the third one is nil. Let's compact map it to remove optionals. So here we have it. Our failable decodable is a wrapper for all list element. When parsing the JSON response, we can get rid of the types that our app is not able to handle. Okay, this helps. Your app can ignore elements that it cannot render, but you have to use it with caution. You have no idea why this decoding failed. It could be that a new type has been added on the server and your app just can't handle it. But what if there's a data inconsistency and your app is failing and you have no idea what's going on? Let's see how we can improve it. To catch a parsing error, we could simply just remove this silent fail while parsing and wrap it with do-catch block and report this error to Crashlytics or any other system that you use. But this should not be a wrapper responsibility. The better way would be to catch this error and pass it along. In order to do this, let's use result enum type. For the initializer, we can use result caching, which creates a new result by evaluating a closure. If this closure will succeed, it will create enum with associated value t. If it will fail, it will get an error value. Let's try to decode our JSON with new wrapper. Here, by using get, you can get a value or error message which can be sent to Crashlytics. So this is it, an easy and safe way of parsing a JSON data or any decodable that you have. The link to the GitHub repository with the Swift playground is in the description. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and see you in the next one.